was a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Word to your mother.
Here he is.
Here we are. Two mommies.
Two cool moms.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We appreciate you. I'm Joe Gatto.
I'm Steve Byrne, and this mommy had a little too much box wine last night. A lot.
Somebody got their Chardonnay on, their boxed Chardonnay.
God. I feel like a bloated river corpse of myself, like on CSI when they poke a stick and you just see this body turn over. That's what I feel. I'm so puffy and yeah.
Did you don't look good. Did you have one of those moms that would like shoot you straight and tell you stuff like that? Because my mom, straight up, like she would audible, ugh. You know, like like things like that. But you're so handsome. You're so handsome all the time. But then like when you were off or something, she's like, ugh. I remember one time I got a Caesar haircut.
No. Wait, how old were you?
I was late in the game. I was like late 20s. Like where I made a decision and it was the wrong one. Right?
Do you have pictures of this Caesar
I think
cut?
there's one in existence because this is before
I gotta see this.
digital photography was like a big thing. I think I have one photo of it, and if I do, I'll put it in right here to make sure I have it.
Straight like this?
It was a bowl haircut, which is called the Caesar, but it was basically a bowl haircut.
You look like, but you thought you were George Clooney, but you look like the owner of the Raiders. Have you ever seen that guy? Oh my God!
I looked like it looked like it happened by accident, and I tried to make something like out of the accident. Like it was like, oh, I thought you said Caesar. Like the guy was like, and then he's like, oh, I'll fix it. Right. It was terrible. And I remember I walked in the house and my mother looked me in the face and went, oh, no. That's not a good look for you.
Get my hat.
And I look terrible in hats, so I had to ride out the Caesar.
Why do you look bad in hats?
Because the nose combination, it comes out a little bit further than the brim.
You can't wear a cap?
I've never got into a cap.
Really? But you don't like sports, that's why, right?
Well, I don't know if that's a direct reflection because there are caps that aren't dedicated to sports.
But I mean, most ball cap, like especially in New York, you're either Yankees, Giants, what's the other? Oh, Rangers, or your Islanders, Mets, Jets.
Yes, that's right.
And that's always
and
the
all
partition.
of those teams play sports.
They all play sports, and you never wore any of those.
No, I never really got into a hat thing. I used to. I had
men's figure skating.
I had men's figure skating hat. And
fantasy figure skating. You asked me if I want to do it this year. I'm like, Joe,
are you sure? Because the Luke Williams out of Czechoslovakia's got some good.
Luke Williams out of Czechoslovakia. That sounds like a very Czech name. Yeah. Jesus, Joe.
That's all I came up with. I had a hat that was a Charlotte's Hornets hat. That's the thing, right?
Back in the day, back in the day, teal when they came out, that was the hot
teal's my thing. It lights them up. So anything that was teal, I loved. I had good baby blue eyes. The neon,
Okay.
So I used to wear it backwards. I used to wear my hat backwards because when I wore it forwards, I always hated the way I looked. But I thought backwards was like kind of cool.
Yeah, you had to go to Ken Griffey.
I did
style. Yeah,
I Ken Griffey'd it.
Yeah,
it did not look good though.
Even a backwards cap.
Even a backwards cap.
We got to find a good cap for you. Wear fedoras though, right?
I do rock a fedora.
Yeah. Those look good on you.
Comically. And it also looks good. I do. It started as a joke on the road.
I went to oh God, I forget the name of the store, whatever. But it's a popular like hat chain. And I was in Nashville for that comedy festival we're at, and I was like, I've never bought myself like a nice hat. So I was like, I'm going to buy a nice fedora. It's black. I put it on. I was like, this looks cool. I wore it one night to the comedy store. Within 30 seconds, I get out of the car. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Are you solving a crime, you piece of shit? It's just like, oh, fuck. Took it off, dusted up my... I've never worn it since. I got pounded by like six guys within 2 minutes.
You had...
Pummeled.
Well, that sound is going to be funny.
Sorry, yeah. Take that clip out and then just drop bass and beats to it.
Yeah,
I got pummeled by six guys.
Right. We should make sure that we're talking about...
Got pummeled by 6 guys.
We're talking about the hat.
Got pummeled by...
For sure. But you and a fedora would probably give me... Who's the villain from James Bond vibes?
Oh, the fucking Asian one?
Odd Job, yeah.
He had like a bowler's cap, though.
It wasn't a fedora.
It's not going to look good on me.
Who is the Asian sidekick for Green Hornet?
Oh, Kato. I'll take that.
Kato, right? Didn't Kato wear a cap?
Yeah, now I'm cool.
Kato wore a cap. Yeah, Kato wore a cap.
Oddjob was like, he looked like Bruce Lee if he just ate Arby's all the time. Just looked like a fat, rotund piece of shit. But
hey, don't talk ill about Oddjob. He was a formidable adversary for 007.
That's right, yeah.
He was. He gave him some tough times. But I wear a fedora, and I look kind of like Frank Sinatra.
You look good in a foot. I remember you got one in the UK and you wore it.
Well, we talked to Murray. They are expensive. If you get a proper cap, they're expensive.
They are expensive.
And we talked to Murray into buying one because we pretended that he looked good in it in the store, and we made him buy a $250 fedora. And it promised him how good he looked. And then as soon as we walked out and he got it, I was like, "Are you an idiot?" And he still has it.
Did he ever wear it?
He wore it actually on the dinner party show we did. Because he looks like he liked to say he looked like a young Indiana Jones, but he looked like an old Indiana Jones. I wish I could get into a cap, especially when I have like bad hair. Not that there's much going on anymore, but like when I have a bad haircut and stuff, I always wished I could get into a cap, but I suffer through with a bad.
Yeah.
I wonder what looks worse though with that.
You know what looks? I think the hat every guy could look good in are those like the Irish cap. You know what I'm talking about? Like Andy cap.
Yes.
Every guy looks good in those. I've never seen anybody put one on and not look good. Like a fedora, I get it. I get it. A baseball cap. Like there's certain ball caps I can wear. You go to Lids, and you get the MLB
I go ape shit at
ones.
Lids. I go ape shit.
I look like Make-A-Wish. I look like, will you hit a homer for me, Mickey? Like I look so bad because my head is like a little smaller.
There's different.
Like,
it is.
I
You
have
have a
dolphin
narrow.
like features. Yeah,
You do have dolphin features.
Yeah.
Your blowhole is really weird.
I got pummeled by 6 guys.
That's right. Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
The hat height, it plays a big, like a trucker cap on you would be ridiculous.
Oh, there's some I just can't wear.
You look like a Pez dispenser.
Jesus, I'm going to need some advice after this. All right.
No, but hey, Steve, I'm so short. You look great in a cap. I've seen you in a hat a couple times. You look great in a suit.
I love a good suit.
I put on a suit. I look like I'm going either to a funeral or an ex-girlfriend's wedding. Like that's what I look like.
When you put on a suit and wear it to my show, yes, the funeral is my show. It's the end of my career. Every night I wear a suit. But we had a discussion about this the other night about dressing up for a show. We feel it's important because people paid. They got a ticket. They got a sitter. They went out to dinner. It's a night for them. So
you think the aesthetics help add to the evening?
Oh, for sure. I think the aesthetics help for my act, to be honest with you. Because
it's like, at least you look good.
You're dressed up. It's like, oh, he looks sharp. And then you're just ripping on everybody. Right. And, but yeah, I like wearing a suit. I think it kind of cleans it up.
I do like a tie. I have a good tie collection. Now, talk to me about the knot you do. Do you do a Windsor or do you do a slip knot?
I do a slip knot. Yeah, skinny. I always wear a skinny tie.
A skinny tie.
A big tie, all of a sudden, I look, again, like a Pez dispenser because my little head and this big tie. And
I do a fat tie.
You do a fat tie?
I do fat ties.
I think you got to be bigger to have the.
I am bigger, so thank you.
You're not bigger. You're.
Oh, broad. You mean broad?
Broad, yeah.
Yeah.
You got to have some girth.
I do look like a clown. I do look like the clown with the seltzer, like at Ringling Brothers. When I have a fat tie on, it's like a Windsor. And I was like, do my body running around. So I got to be careful with that.
Yeah.
I think it's important, though, to have people in your life that keep you honest if you look good or not.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we were talking about our moms, and my mom, like, literally the last time I was home, she came up to me, and I said, hey, Mom. And she just took her finger and poked me in the stomach. And that meant, lose some fucking weight, you fat piece of shit. I'm like, good to see you. Always good to see you, Mom.
Good to see you.
Didn't say stone face, poker face, just...
Boom. Sent a message.
Yeah.
Wow. When I moved to LA in 2003, I had come home and I didn't really eat much when I was out there because I couldn't afford it. And I came home and I was down to like 160 pounds, which is not
really.
Yeah, which I looked like a amazing 165, I guess.
Well, how tall are you?
Was. I'm 5'10". Side note,
160 would be.
I'm 5'9.5". I went to the doctor. They told me I'm supposed to be 175 pounds. So I'm morbidly obese right now. I mean, who's doing the math? Because I've seen morbidly obese, and I'm not. I'm chunk. But
you're not. You're slender. I think some people just gain weight in certain areas. Some people it fills out.
Stop
right?
pointing to your belly.
I was going to point to your belly.
Yeah.
Because I think yours goes there, but you don't get it. You don't seem to get it in your cheeks.
No,
or
but
your
once
face
I hit a threshold, the belly gets full and it works its way up, and it starts going. I get the jowls. I get the
jowls.
Yeah, I get the necks. I get a couple of the chinny chins here. And what I have to do in that point is because that you can see that stuff in pictures.
Right. Oh,
but
sure.
I'm always okay when I have clothes on, but once you start getting these underneath,
well, everybody's great in cothes on. But the minute everybody looks at yourself in the mirror, every day, ever since COVID hit,
yep.
I take every day I look at myself naked before I get in the shower, I go, all right, tomorrow. And then I come out to here, and it's like, you got to get a Sicilian with the vodka. I'm like,
we ate a full pie yesterday, you and I, two of us.
Delicious. One of the best pizzas I've ever
Phil's
had in my
Pizzeria,
life.
Glen Cove. Thanks so much for that, guys. Try them out. Sponsored. And also, Phil, if you want to send us some money now because we mentioned you on there,
Shall we?
Great.
Indulge?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, two cool mommies. Let's activate our superpowers.
What we do here is we help people with life advice.
We had two strong mothers. Our moms were brutally honest, always gave us great advice, and we took, I think we took the benefits of the superpower. They bestowed us it, and here we are dispelling great advice to you guys. We'll kick it off with this first one.
There's an asterisk next to great, though.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm trying to explain to my friend why dogs are better than cats. How can I convince him? Now, you are obviously in. How many dogs do you have?
Right now, we're at 17.
That's unhealthy.
This episode. Tune in next week, and we'll see what the numbers are at.
17 dogs?
17 we're at. But I will say this. I'm not on the team of people that try to pick one better than the other. There's room for both.
No, there's not. There's absolutely not. I will buck against the grain. I am a cat person. Between the two, I love dogs.
Okay.
I would never own a dog. It's too much. I hear it in the claws on the floor. Anybody comes near your house, just the barking. It's just like, fuck.
It is a lot. There is something to a cat that has to be able to sustain itself. And you don't have to really bother about it. But that's not what a pet's about. It's like, oh, I love cats. You don't have to worry about them. But then why are you getting a pet? like the thing about a dog is that it's part of your family.
No, so but a cat, you just drop it in the litter box. It could be 3 months old. It could be a month old. It could be 6 years old. You drop it in the litter box. You never have to worry about it taking a deuce anywhere in the house. It's like, oh, it just knows.
Yeah, but it also water guns shit out of its ass to mark its territory. So we're not going to talk about that. We're going to say that it knows about the box.
Super soaker.
It super soaks out of its butthole, and everybody just doesn't talk about that. Like, oh, but it's the litter box. So don't even get me started on that. But I do like cats. I enjoy cats.
If there was like a scale, the spraying out of the butthole, would it be at least like 8 points?
Yeah,
for sure. You would be. I'd be back down. Yeah, that is a big. Hairballs is another thing.
Oh yeah, I'll take a arf over a in the middle of the night, like any day of the week.
Okay, but a dog is going to hump a pillow.
Yes, it's true.
A dog is going to hump a leg.
If you're lucky.
It's so fucking gross. Did you see a pink thing come out of that tube sock and just it needs friction and stuff? I mean, it's hilarious when it's done to somebody else.
100%. It's like people falling.
In Pittsburgh, I can't believe I forgot this. I should talk about this on stage, but my neighbor had a huge dog. Mm-hmm. It's one of those Marmaduke dogs. Yeah. And always slobbing and everything. My mom is like 5'2", and this dog was in heat or something. Fucking ran and tackled my mom.
Mouthing your mother?
It's plowing my mom. And my mom is screaming. And all I could do was just collapse. And I was crying, laughing.
How old were you?
I couldn't save my mom because I was laughing so goddamn hard.
How old are you?
I was like 16.
So you were able to do something.
I was totally able to do something. But I was crying. I was laughing so hard. I was like, the dog is taking my mom to town.
Oh my God.
And she's just like, get up, get. And I forget her, like, Barney, get up, get. And it's like,
and you did nothing.
I fucking did nothing. Absolutely nothing. Oh my God. Can't believe I forgot about that.
Well, I could see why you think cats.
I think it also depends on how much investment you want to give in your pet, right? If you're somebody that loves to give attention, loves to receive attention, I think a dog's the one. Again, a cat, it's going to come chill with you when it wants to. It's going to do its own thing.
It's on its own timeline. Yeah.
It's on its own time. I think that's true of most people, too. There's people that are dogs and there's people that are cats. Like, I'm a lone gun. I like doing my own thing. I'll come in when I want. I don't know. There's people like Bert Kreischer that's like, he's like a Labrador. It's like, throw the ball. Can you throw the ball? In my head? Rub my belt?
You're like a feral. You're the feral cat of comedy. Steve Byrne. I'll flip it and reverse it for you. What are some of the most useless pets? Because for me,
ferret.
You go ferret. That's the first one out of your mouth.
Yes. You ever been to somebody's house? Like, oh, I got a ferret. It's like, where is it? It's like, it's never around. It's always hiding. It's like, well, why do you have? It's like Roy Wood's bit about going to the zoo. It's like, is there a tiger in the tiger cage? Like, where are they?
I think your friends are just lying to you, and they don't have ferrets, and you're falling for a joke. But you go with that over like goldfish or like turtle.
I love turtles. I don't know what
As
it
a
is.
pet, though? Really?
I told my wife, at some point I want to get like a pond in the backyard and have turtles, because at the La Brea Tar Pits, they had a turtle pond for years. It's just this huge indoor pond, all these turtles, and I would just go and sit there and watch them and be mesmerized. And I don't know, for some reason, they're just chilling. They're cool. They got the shell. It's like a.
Are you waiting for them to come out and like start doing karate? Like, what are you doing? Like, you're sitting around watching them.
There's something very tranquil about watching just a pond full of turtles. I don't know.
I had two turtles growing up.
You did?
Classic names, of course, Shelby and Myrtle. Separate times in life. One, I started hand feeding lettuce and it wouldn't take the food by itself, and it died because I went away and it didn't eat, and it died. The other one,
you just come back and it's a shell.
Yeah, the other one I think I let go into the creek because I felt like it needed to be free, and I had this big creek by my house.
How can I ask you something real quick?
Yeah.
How uneventful is freeing a turtle?
It takes a while.
You put it down. You're like, you're free. Go.
I went home for an hour.
Seriously.
I came back. It's about 5 feet away. But my brother-in-law, Vinny, was dating my sister at the time, and he had to stay over because he lived in Queens.
Yeah.
So my parents gave him my bed, and he didn't know that I had a turtle tank, and the turtle was nocturnal for some reason.
Oh, shoot.
And I had fake like AstroTurf, and it was just walking, and so all you heard was a scratch like on the turf, and Vinny was laying in the bed not knowing I had a turtle. Like, what the hell is this? What's living in the walls?
Oh,
and he didn't sleep all night, and the next morning he told my sister, she's like, oh, it's his turtle. He's like, what turtle? So he told my house that it was infested with rats. And like,
but he didn't think to like examine or like look around the room?
no, I think he was scared. He thought it was a ghost.
Well, but like having a turtle, it's just like you feed it and you walk away, right? That's it.
Yeah,
it doesn't.
It's uneventful. That's what I'm talking about. Ferrets, you do tricks. I had parakeets growing up. I loved parakeets.
No.
Chi Chi and Cha Cha.
Oh my
parakeets.
God, that's got to be the worst pet to have because they're always chirping and shit, right?
Yeah, they're always chirping.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah.
No, I'm not for that. That's awful. Why would you do that to yourself? How old were you?
I was 12, 11, 12.
Did they like sit on your finger and you talk to them? And,
yeah, they did. They would do a loop around the room. Well, no.
Really?
Chi Chi was great. Cha Cha, we got Cha Cha. When they came in, it was no good.
Oh, they fought?
They had some domestic disputes, I think, the two of them in the cage.
Really?
Yeah.
They bit each other and stuff?
A little bit. They went at it. I don't know. They might have been the way they had sex. I was too young. I didn't know. It was before National
Birds
Geographic.
don't have. Birds just lay eggs, right? And then
No, somebody's got to put something in something.
I don't think birds. Do birds bang? Do you guys know?
Do you guys know?
Birds bang?
Yeah, birds bang.
Like an ostrich, I'm sure, but like parakeets?
Okay, why? Are you sure about an ostrich?
Well, they're huge, right?
What does that mean?
They're laying eggs too, but
Right.
birds don't bang.
No, I've seen videos where the one guy's flapping really hard and the other one's underneath.
I thought they just lay. I thought they're like fish, where they lay an egg and then the other fertilizes it. Am I out of my mind here?
You are through the hard shell. How are they getting anything through that hard shell? How they?
No, they fertilize, but like a fish, they fertilize like the females.
Right, the female eggs. The woman hammerhead. The woman fish drops her eggs on the bottom, and the male one comes over and does a crop dust.
That's right.
Right, but their eggs are like porous, so that it could get in. You're talking about a hard-boiled egg. You think
birds can't bang?
Birds bang.
I'm the only one
up.
that thinks this. You know for a fact birds bang.
Birds reproduce sexually. When it's time to reproduce, the male bird gets very close to the female bird and puts sperm inside the body. That is from the Google.
Okay. I guess it's true.
I don't know how you even thought the science worked because
I never thought about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're learning
I
things
just saw an egg in the nest and that was it.
So you believe the whole stork theory? As a man in his late 40s who has children.
Done, right? Yeah. It goes in the butthole and then the stork comes, right?
There we go. Got it.
Okay. All right. Well, I really botched that one.
I love it. You go with
I
cats.
like cats.
I like
How
dogs.
about you?
I like dogs and cats. If you have to pick one, I go dogs.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Number 2. I have always... Okay, this is worded different. I always have a feeling that I'm not meant for a normal job doing normal things. Is that a bad thing? Well, you were talking to two people I don't believe that we're good for normal jobs. I think you could have excelled at a normal job.
Yeah, if my heart was in it, probably, yeah.
Yeah. So I would just surmise that this individual probably is creative in some capacity or lazy as all hell.
One of the two things.
Yeah. You're
the lazy or creative.
Or a lazy creative.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. I think you're... well, define normal job. Like, are you talking about? Are they talking about like a 9 to 5 where they're not excited? Look, you got to be excited about what you're doing, but you also got to put food on the table.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
you got to find a middle ground at this time for both.
Yeah, commerce meets creativity. I think. Yeah, I think most people think a normal job, cubicle, name tag, having a boss telling you what to do. But if you're a free thinker, yeah, I think you go after your creative instincts, enable them, pursue it, and if you can make money doing it, then even better for sure.
I think that sometimes people stray away from the job because they think they have to give up that part of their soul for their job. Right. But I think you always have to just chase your passion as you're doing the job too.
I got to be honest with you. I'm still like in my head, I'm like trying to Tetris like bird bodies and see how they like. Because they're so
well. The one lays on the back. One lays on the back.
No, a bird doesn't lay.
They do it missionary style. It's for sure.
Plus, they have like little legs, and so
so they spread easy.
You know, like you see a nest, you see these two little claws.
There's a reason why you don't call it birdie style. Hold on, let me get back to that. Let me get back to the web here. Hold on. Birds mate with something known as the cloacal kiss. Cloacal. The male mounts the female from behind. They do it.
No, they do
that
doggy
nasty
style.
bird. Nasty bird. Why don't they call it birdie style? That sounds so much more fun. She arches her back. That's good. Yeah, that's it.
I'd have to see it.
And moves her tail to one side. She got to move. She got to open it up.
It's like when a girl wears a thong and you
slide it over.
And you don't want to take the thong off
right.
and slide it over.
That's exactly what it is. But why don't they call it birdie style? The electric slide. The birdie style is so much better. Can we start that? Oh, how was last night? It was great. I got this girl. We did it birdie style. It sounds so much cleaner. Because your mom got it doggy style, and she's probably still...
Excuse me?
From the neighbor, not from your father. Oh. I was like, that's doggy style. Your mom didn't get attacked by a bird outside and was like, Barney, get off me.
By the way, how great would that be if like a condor just came down and like...
Wah!
Just mounted my mom.
Started doing a birdie style.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, I forgot my mom got plowed by my neighbor's big dog. I totally forgot I told that story. I'm like, are you talking about my mom getting drilled doggy style?
No, I was talking about that moment. I would never.
Yeah, I would suggest anybody who's creative or whatever.
Who gets to decide that it's called doggy style versus birdie style?
Snoop.
That's right. If he was Snoop Birdie Bird, that'd be different. Snoop Birdie Bird would. We gotta call Snoop.
You are quick.
You gotta call Snoop Birdie Bird.
Snoop Birdie Bird. You don't love me. You just love my birdie style. That's so funny. I don't know what.
Sweetened in my 6th fault. So dumb.
He's got it. He's got it. He did it again.
All right. Okay. Go after your dream, but get paid. I don't know what to tell you at this point.
Yeah.
I think that people...
If we had a little more information...
I need more information, but I will just say a thing that I've learned is don't be afraid of work, because you have to put the work in, and that means with even to pay the bills or also chasing your dream, you got to put in the work.
I think, by the way, most people suck at their job.
100%.
It's crazy. Like how many places you've gone, especially since COVID, and how many restaurants I've been to where just like nobody cares.
Yeah.
I went to a restaurant in New York City, and I sat at the bar. The bartender's like peeling limes or something like that, never even addressed me, and I'm just sitting there waiting and waiting. I'm like, nobody's here. Like, I'm your only customer. And then I think 8 minutes in, she walks over, and I was like, now it's a game. Now I'm going to wait until she comes over. And when she came, I go, I'm good, thank you. And I got to walk out because it's like, fuck this. It's crazy.
It's great.
I think even if you hate your job, it's still your job. Have a little pride in your job because it's a reflection.
You're not talking about having a bad day versus not liking your job, though. Like some people have a bad day and like they have a bad shift or whatnot. And that's fine. That comes and goes. That's your feeling. But if you're overall miserable in your job, I mean, that's hard to exist that way.
Get another job then.
Yeah.
Especially these days when there's so many open. You know?
Yeah.
I would suggest, I don't know. I hate when, my biggest pet peeve is when people don't care at their job. And as someone that served tables like in my 20s up until I went full time as a comic, it's like I know what that's like. Yeah. It sucks. I get it. But I still like every table was like, oh, this is their dinner.
Yeah.
Like they came here for a reason. So I'm going to try to make this as pleasant as possible. And I don't know. I just, it really irritates me when you're walking past and you see somebody and their water's not filled. It's like, fill the water.
Yeah.
I don't. But I hate it.
But you know what I also just realized as you were telling that story?
Green eyes?
That Chi-Chi and Cha-Cha were probably just fucking and not fighting.
They were banging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought they were, as a 12-year-old boy, I thought they were fighting, but they were getting it on in the cage.
They were banging.
Birdie style.
And the turtle was jerking it like that.
That was it.
He's like, everybody's
It's like a wild kingdom over there.
Did you ever hear? This is like
how do turtles
dive?
bang? Well, let's not even get into it. I mean, how do turtles bang? But
turtles lay eggs, right?
Oh, here he goes again.
I think turtles
you
lay eggs.
just think that everything lays eggs and the sperm gets thrown at everything.
Well, I swear to God, I think turtles
do lay eggs. I know the sea turtle, they bury their things. Yeah, they bury them in the sand. Exactly. We know that. But how do they get fertilized? They have to have some.
Well, I think that like the sea turtle, the female goes and buries the eggs. Obviously, they must be turtle banging. So
yeah, turtles. They have cloacia, that word.
Same thing as
the opening of the tail, right? And that permits intercourse and egg laying and removal. During mating, the male hooks his tail under the female. He has a claw, like
hold on.
At the end of his.
I'm going to lay down and point my toes while you tell the story. Can you do that one more time? I'm going to just lay down, point my toes.
Think about it. Anything that lays eggs, well, they have to be fertilized first and then they're laid. That's the difference. But fish are the only ones that drop their eggs like they don't care. Like they're throwing change in the fountain. And they're like, hopefully one of these wishes come true.
That's right. Yeah, it's a numbers game with fish. Yeah. All right. I'm learning a lot today. I did not know about this.
That's the good thing about Two Cool Moms. We educate and we appreciate. And we help people just be better all around.
I think this is going to be a very good question for you.
Let's hit it.
Okay. Obviously, they're expressing their adoration for you and what you meant. You've made my day so many times. You know, recently times haven't been good to all of us. And as each day passes, there's some kind of a sorrow in the heart. How do you get rid of the hurt in the heart?
You don't. I think that's a mistake that people make. I mean, you have to, that part of the hurt and sorrow is part of you and your journey. So what you need to do is work through it and not ignore it.
Right.
And I think that's a big part of being able to deal with what life is thrown at you, because it's not all happy. It's not all rainbows, but that time of sorrow makes you realize and appreciate the times of happiness even more.
Right.
So if you don't know, it's like a yin yang, if you will. You know, if you don't know that part of it, then you won't appreciate the other parts. So that's for me.
I think what you're saying is, because I think some of the issues sometimes when somebody's dealing with, you know, a bad day or a travesty or whatever it might be, you know, something especially impactful, it's like, I got to get over this, or like a bad break. I got to get over this. I don't think you get over it. I think you're right. I think you carry these battle scars along the way, and they do become a part of your decision making, your outlook on life. So yeah, I think you got to kind of almost embrace it in some way. Yeah.
You get affected by all of it. So I what I'm saying is, like, there's a difference between being so sad that you can't operate. Of course, like if a big travesty happens or whatnot, tragedy, and then you need to deal with that. Sure. If something bad happens to you, right, there's all levels to all of it.
Sure.
So you have to be able to process each thing in its own way. I've had the full run of things, I think, at this point in my life, 45 years. And I would say that the most you could do is just identify it and deal with it. I think that's the best way to do it. And for me, it's always laughter. It's always laughter. It's always finding something that makes you laugh, something that makes you forget a little bit, so you could have time to mentally process things and escape a little bit, you know, even a half hour at a time, you know, putting on an episode of something or listening to, let's say, a podcast, you know, just escape a little. I think things like that always definitely help, but to ignore it is a problem. To have to try to get over something is a problem because, like you said, I think we're full of scar tissue.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know, you always analogize things, I guess, in just, you know, internally, selfishly, right? And so I think there's times, too, where the easy thing to do as a comic, especially on your road and you're dealing with or you walk into a showroom and it's desolate and you're like, oh, my God, there's only like 50 people here and it's Sunday and it's like, I don't want to be here. I want to go home. And it's like, I'll get a drink. And then that drink turns into another drink, and then it just, you wake up depressed and you're doing a podcast the next day. But I think that route is never a healthy option. It's a quick fix. It gets you distracted. And I've been guilty of it for sure. Quite a few times. Quite a lot.
We appreciate the honesty here,
especially lately. But I will say I know myself very well. I'm a pretty upbeat person by nature, and when I do have a beverage, it is always done under social circumstances.
Right.
I've never made a drink for myself at my house. I just never
in your hotel room.
Never in my hotel room.
Oh, yeah.
Unless like
it's always a social setting. It's part of a ritual, if you will.
Yes. Yeah. Like if I'm hanging out, folks are having a good time, it's like, I'll have a drink, and then the night takes off and it becomes that much more enjoyable. But I think that coping mechanism sometimes is it never works out well.
Right.
It never works out.
Would you call, but every time it happens, it's not a coping mechanism. You're talking about the time where the stars are aligned, that you're dealing with something, and then that situation presents itself. Because sometimes you'll be in a good headspace and you'll go out and have a good time. Right?
Sure. I would say I could probably count on my hand the times I've been, most likely on the road and dealt with some bad news. And I just said to myself, I'm going to get a drink tonight, I think, to take the edge off. And again, even in those circumstances when I've done them, I know my everything is telling me it's probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
And then you do it, and you wake up the next day and you feel like shit, and it's like, that was a horrible idea.
Right, a bad idea.
So yeah. I've just personally, in my own personal experience, have found that that's never the answer.
Yeah.
Ever.
And for me too, it's always a support system. It's people that you could trust, people that have your interests, and just try not to go through things alone, because that's hard. That makes it way harder. I think people around you that care about you, or you care about, or are there for you in a way where you can just have fun and find some laughter and smiling. I mean, that's big for me now. I think that really helps too.
The only people that have ever benefited from my sorrow have been strippers.
Yeah, for sure.
To be honest with you,
in a big way.
Very big way. Not me, but they did. But I
do
agree
strippers
with you.
lay eggs?
Oh, can I tell you a story?
Oh, I don't know. Can you? Can you or should you?
You're editing, so you could edit this out.
Okay.
But I did go to a
no podcast story that should be on the podcast starts with, you could edit this out, right? Well, let's give us the beat here.
Somebody's crunching numbers next door in the studio, and then next door you can hear this. So I went to a strip club with, I think it was Gareth Reynolds, great comic, and I was like, let's just go to a strip club. My thing at a strip club is I don't go to a strip club to like get strippers to give me a lap. I go and I find like the most not appealing stripper, and maybe the one that needs the cash the most. And I find her, and I'm like, oh my God, okay, that's the one. And I go, my buddy, can you dance? And I just start peeling off money. And now my buddy's stuck with this stripper that he wants nothing to do with. And this girl must have just rocked a deuce, and she was rubbing her butt on him. And she rubbed her ass on him. There was a streak of shit on his shirt. He was like, this is so gross. So I had to buy him a T-shirt from the gift shop. From the gift shop. Oh my God! There was a streak of shit. So disgusting. Never seen anything like it in my life.
Well, you picked the right one in that night.
Oh my God! Sorry. So I don't know if we want to keep that in, but
I don't know how we even got there.
Well, do strippers lay eggs? And I was like,
gotcha.
Bing, bing, bing,
well,
bing,
there
bing.
you go.
They do. They do.
They do something else. They do.
Yeah. They do.
All right. Well, next question.
But to go to something you were saying though, real quick about I think not to just internally process things. I think one of the healthiest things you can do is, I think sometimes when you're burdened with pain and you're carrying the pain, I think every time you maybe talk to a close confidant or somebody you really trust, you take the steam out of it a little bit. And I always tell my kids, I'm like, something's bothering you right now. You should let it out. Otherwise, you're going to carry it, and it's going to stay with you, and it festers, and it's best to tell me what's bothering you and communicate, and that way we can get through this together.
Even if you can't help. That's a big thing too. People, you shouldn't look for solutions, because sometimes the thing that helps you solve it for yourself is letting some of it out, like you said.
And I think sometimes if somebody's pulling you aside and saying, hey, can I tell you something? The best thing you can do, just listen.
Yeah.
They just want to get it out there. Don't offer, unless they ask you for advice, just receive it. Receive it, be there for that individual, and you do everything you can to be supportive. But I think the most support you can give somebody is to just listen. Sometimes they just want to be heard.
Yeah. Very, very good, Mommy.
Thank you.
Good advice, Mommy.
Thanks, Mom. You're such a great mom.
Such a great mom.
All right. Do I want to do this one? This one might be serious.
No, skip that one.
No, okay.
The one we just did was kind of serious, so.
Okay. I suffer from bipolar depression. How do you get through days that are just hard from the get-go? I would say seek professional advice, first off.
Yeah, because I know nothing about that.
I know nothing about it.
I think you should probably expand your search past the Instagram request message. I think if bipolar is like a big thing. I know some people who have it in their family, and that's something you need some serious help with, that people could help you.
There is absolutely medication
100%.
that helps recalibrate the chemistry within your
therapy, things of all that nature, all that stuff that I'm not equipped to help you with. But I'm here to say, much love to you. And I hope that you get the help you need.
But there are certainly days that are hard from the get-go for everybody. And I think, again, I think like you said, it's like you do something that makes you feel good, and you find that laughter is the key to yours. I find carbs to be my
laughter
food.
and carbs really solve most of the world's issues.
I just read this article the other day, and they're like, the 5 foods you should stay away from.
You loved all 5
fries, ding, pizza, ding. It's like everything I love. It's like ding, ding, ding. I'm like,
you could easily change the title to that, to Steve's 5 favorite foods, and it was the same list. Yeah.
My 5 food groups, awful. Yeah, but I think, if somebody's saying, hey, I gotta, just the day just started off so horribly for me. What do you say?
I'm always a big part of like identifying what the problem was, and then trying to see what you can do about it. And if you can't do anything about it, try to move on as best you can.
Right.
I
would say it's your issue. Deal with it. I'm going.
Yeah, well, he's got his own things he's got to deal with.
So I don't got time for this shit. Best to you,
Steve Burns. Life advice. Good luck to you. Deal with it.
But you're my dad. Just leave me alone.
Prove it.
Daddy, do you love me? It's complicated.
It's complicated.
Okay. I think you're going to like this one. I need some Two Cool Moms advice.
Oh, that's us. You came to the right spot.
You came to the right place. We are 2 moms, and we are cool.
Cool.
Why won't my kids get along? 13-year-old girl, 11-year-old boy. And that says everything you need to know. She's 13. He's 11.
That's the answer in the question.
Somebody put a curly one on the soap, and that's when shit goes down. That's when life changes, okay? I do think that puberty's that's the game changer, right? And if you're 13 and you're a girl...
She's laying eggs. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem. No, the boy, I remember when I hit puberty, I became I had so much hormones and dealing with everything was like, I was frantic. I was just frantic. I had so much energy. I didn't know what I was doing with myself.
But you're in a good position to share advice because you had older sisters. You were the younger boy, and it seems like it's the same situation
right,
here.
So I'm trying to think, when I was 11 and my sister was 13, we absolutely hated each other, and she's my best friend now. Yeah. I think that thing just, you hear it. That trope rings true because it runs its course. Teenage boys, teenage girls, when you have 2, preteens or teens, they're going to fight. They're all forming opinions. They're becoming that. And I think what you need to do is just what I always got from my mom in those situations, which I loved, was the answer to work it out, and she put it on us. And I think that's huge. I think inserting yourself in a way to become the problem solver is just going to debilitate that relationship and not help them figure out themselves as they're developing.
Yeah.
So for me, I love that about, in hindsight and as a parent now, like I love that. It's like, figure it out. You guys figure it out.
Exactly.
You know, there's some things that are going to need some help, of course, but a lot of the stuff, if you just make them figure it out, and they will.
Yeah. Like I want to go to roller skating class. It's like, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
There's a bus down the street.
Yeah.
Get $1.35. You're old enough. I'm 9. You can figure it out.
Put the roller skates on and grab a hubcap. All right, pull a Marty McFly. Like, hold on.
Dynamite it over there. Yeah. Takes a string to it.
I'm sure they're going to pass the roller rink.
But I think that it's maybe one of two things, right? You got to weather the storm. Mm-hmm. You got to ride it out. You got to understand these next 6 to 7 years, this is the way it's going to be. Because like you said, I think anybody in your teen years, you're trying to establish identity. You're trying to figure yourself out, especially, you know, in a school type setting. Oh my God, who hasn't felt awkward and uncomfortable? And you're trying to be cool and separate yourself from your family and be your own person, right? I think the only thing that could perhaps maybe bridge that gap, and I think it's a Band-Aid, is an experience.
Yeah.
You give the kids an experience. You go somewhere together, like rock climbing, where there's a start and a finish and a sense of accomplishment at the end, and maybe they need to rely on each other in terms of spotting or holding something physical or whatever it might be, where there's an end goal and they accomplish this feat together, whatever it might be. I think if they have that experience, then absolutely it's something that they can look upon each other and go, oh, we did that together. That's pretty cool.
That's some really sound advice right there. I like that one.
Every now and then, this mom comes through.
You got
Every
one.
now and then.
You got one. Get yourself a Pinot Noir. You did great.
No. This mommy's had a little too much of that. I'm going to watch a Hallmark movie and get under the covers and hope a kitty cat comes over and curls up my legs.
It doesn't spray in the face.
You don't come here.
Super soaked. Mommy over the blanket. Yeah, I agree with that. I love that. I think making memories is always great. Every chance you can, because it could turn like the most. I remember my sister and I were having a horrendous fight. We were taking a road trip down to Florida with my dad's car. He had a Buick LeSabre. And we 3 of us in the back seat.
Dude, how many hours is that? 18?
Yeah, it was like we went to northern Florida. Yeah, so it was about like 16 or whatever.
Sit next to each other.
We were next to each other. I'm in the middle.
You're in the middle?
Yeah, I'm 9-ish, 10-ish maybe.
Dude.
My sister's on the outskirts. So one is like 15, 16, and one is 12, 13.
Ugh.
And I remember like it being fighting in the car, horrendous. And then when we got to the place we were staying, we had like a great time, and the ride home was completely different, you know, because we drove there and drove back. So I just think like, and that's one of my favorite family vacations that we ever had when we were down there. And it's just really cool to just, you have something that started so horrible, because I remember the ride. I remember hating it so much. Like I kept begging my mother to sit in the front, like, because the Buick LeSabre had a bench seat, right?
Right.
And I was like, let me sit up front. My dad was like, no, you guys stay back there. And I was like, please, I can't. We had a cooler. Like my dad had a cooler of like drink, one of those
sandwiches.
Yeah, it was one of those.
You couldn't even go to McDonald's or BK or something.
No, those sons of bitches. Yeah, so we were really. But I remember on the way back, like just being like, oh, this is a totally different experience.
That's great.
Yeah,
because you had gone through it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's tough. My brother and I remember we went to Hawaii. I think I was 16, he was 13. We fought the whole time. The whole time. My father and mother worked all year to fly us to Hawaii to enjoy paradise, and we fought the whole time. I ruined that vacation for my parents. To this day I feel so bad. I've made up for it. I've gotten them trips and stuff, but it's one of those things I look back on.
You haven't made up for it, really.
Yeah, right.
You stole that from them.
You've seen my set. Sorry, guys.
There's still work to be done.
Oh, there's a lot of work.
There's work to be done. Yeah.
Well, I think we did it, Mom.
Mom, that was great. I felt like a great scenario here. I appreciate you and all your motherly advice.
You are so cool.
Yeah, you are so cool,
Mom.
too. We are.
These 2 cool mommies love you, so show us some love.
Please rate us, review us, follow us on all social media, and subscribe to our YouTube.